Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Mr. Prince and you're watching Otaku Mr. Prince. Okay, sorry, at the moment it's currently raining, and if you hear any noise, it's probably coming from the rain. So I'll try and speak as loud as possible. Alright, back to the video. Today we're talking about Reborn 80,000 years. This story follows the reincarnation of the Stardust Emperor, who got reincarnated as Yang Cheng. It follows his mission of revenge against his wife, who betrayed him in his previous life, just at the height of his power. He has 4 children, which we get to know later on in the story, quite interestingly enough, who all went out to make names for themselves. It actually has the long goal of him trying to have revenge against his wife, but in the meantime, he's building up his forces, he's building up his strength, gathering up his forces and gathering up his allies, meeting people from his past, and it's quite a decent story. The story is quite comedic. it's quite funny. Like, it's quite a good one. Like, I was just there reading the story and just laughing, like just tons of laughter in the story. A lot of scenes that like genuinely very funny. It has a vague goal, like I mentioned earlier, about him trying to defeat his wife, but like there's not like a straight line that is being showed. We know it's great. That's the goal he's heading towards, but like it's not exactly like a straight line, which is not necessarily bad. It's better than having any goal at all, and the goal is actually there. So you understand why he's building his strength, though he's not in any immediate hurry to build up his strength. That were the issues with the story. First of all, it has conflicting desires. He has very conflicting desires. He wants to live a quiet life, but he does extravagant things, like he shows up and you know, basically manual MC style, shows up arrogantly, tells this person that you don't know shit, I know this, you don't know this, and he does those kind of stuff. And he does this like in very public places. He's trying to embarrass people, and I'm like, how does this expect to live a peaceful life? I'm trying to like bully people. I'm trying to tell them that, okay, I want to live a very peaceful life. But those two things don't actually work hand in hand. And I find it very weird that most people don't hear about it. Like, why does that keep happening in the story? It also has very inconsistent dates. Like, the only consistent date in the story currently is that 80,000 years. But apart from that, things change. Like, some people have said that he has missed for 10,000 years, it could be 40,000 years and 20,000 years. I find that very weird. The 8,000 days is correct sometimes, it's correct and standard, but some other people just keep changing dates, and I find that very weird. Since it was, at one point I tried to explain that it was in the fairy world for 80,000 years, but it was not the same, but someone else said 80,000 years, so I don't really get what we are doing in that place. It also has some very dumb generic plots in some instances. Like, I'll give a very good instance. There was an instance where he gave a lady like a jade jewel as a protection, and then someone gave her a protection, and they went down a particular storyline in which that they were in trouble, and then like almost immediately they went down that storyline that they were in trouble, and then the guy's gem could not save her, but his own could save her. Like, what's that? Like, we've seen that story 1,000 times. They should stop doing that, things like that. Like, that stuff was just so stupid. Like, that story was like so stupid. Like, why would you do something like this? Like, there was no cause for it. There was nothing. Oh my god, I'm sweating. Yes, it had to wind up. Let me wind down a bit. There was no reason for that. They just did that arbitrarily into the story. And the funny thing about that plot is that it really came up again. She was not in any sort of danger anymore. The story, they tried to get a story to it, but they didn't link the story well. So the plot just felt made for that instance. And they didn't really deal with it very well and link it up with other plot, because man, they did a generic plot and they linked it up with a good plot later down the line, making the twist work. Might be a generic plot, but the story that follows will actually be like an original story. But they didn't do that. Okay, now let me go to the characters. First of all, I'll talk about Yang Cheng. He's very good character, very interesting character. My biggest flaw with him actually is that he was betrayed in his previous life, and he came to this life and he's kind of trusting. I understand him trusting his sons, but I don't understand him trusting just anybody, especially the class rep, who we'll be talking about next. The class rep is a very interesting character. Like, the character that is quite interesting, but at the same time quite stupid, I might say. Like, she does some things, like, she's obviously not stronger than Yang Cheng, but she does things like, don't worry, I'll protect you. Like, at the end of the day, she ended up needing protection over and over again. She's a very weird one. She does not come through with her feelings to the main character, but she has the main character to reciprocate her love back to her, which I find really weird. And I don't know, she betrays him several times, and then he still trusts her like twice. I feel like after the second time, he should have told her that at this point there's nothing between us because you betrayed me twice. Like she's just quite annoying to his story sometimes, and she doesn't really fit in well with him. Now, the second I would say is the third character I mentioned, that his son. Well, for currently in the story, as at where I read the story to, which is chapter 118, we've only shown one son. We've shown his four sons that they've all done great exploits. We only show one son, which is what's his name again, Seth? Little Nose. Yeah, Little Nose. Little Nose. The story of Little Nose is quite funny. The name is actually quite funny, but I'm not sure that's his name, or that's actually a nickname, or maybe it's like the Chinese, like maybe like the Chinese translation to English means Little Nose. As I found out that is it Chen or Chun means cloud. So I guess something like that. And that stuff. The character there is weird because you're not really told his power level, but it's supposed to be strong, but it's just there. The power level is just vague, which is not really a bad thing. Which is another plus I forgot about the story. It doesn't emphasize on power level that much, though their power levels are being mentioned, but it doesn't emphasize on it. So when power levels are being thrown around, the story does not really stand that much on how strong or like difference in strength about some characters in the story. Though it does help stories like that, but it actually works well with this story because they don't emphasize on it. They don't make things vague and then try and focus on it. They make it vague and then they make it abstract and they make that it's not main focus of the story. Actually, it's not for now. Then I'll talk about Yang Cheng's father. His son has done great things, but he keeps doubting his son. I don't know, like he doesn't, like his son has done things that show that this person is not my son, or okay, maybe not that, maybe not put like that, but this person is a genius, but he keeps doubting his son's ability over and over and over again. Same thing with the aunt, but that's another character from that time. There are still awesome characters in this manhwa, despite all my issues with the characters I mentioned. Those are the most prominent characters, like actually, yeah, but they are still genuine characters. Like there was this character from the alchemist tournament and the character was turned out like it was like trash and all, like it was really annoying, but it turned out to actually be a great character eventually. So they have these characters. They are characters that are fixed and are very annoying, but they're actually good. They're actually genuinely good characters in the story, which make the story worthwhile. Now about the artwork is pretty standard. The only issue I have with the art was the eyes. Sometimes the eyes look good, but sometimes the eyes just looks like someone just put a cylinder in their eyes and they all just look generic color. They don't look like they have life in the character. It's very, you'll notice this when I'm talking that generic story I'm talking about, like the first generic story, you notice in all the ladies' eyes, just like it's cylinder there and everything just looks weird. Especially characters that have conflicting eye color with their hairstyle and their clothing, the eyes becomes more obvious. It's just weird. It looks weird. So I would let me total my score for the story. I'll give it a 6. I'll give the characters a 5, and I'll give the art a 6. I'll give the story an overall of 6. It's good. It's quite enjoyable, but and doesn't take away from the story itself. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more content. And I'll try to post more often. Next week, I'll be diving into solo leveling and doing much more about solo leveling. Compare the light novel, which is quite nice, to the manhwa, and how different they are. And from there on, if you guys like that video, I'll be making a series of videos comparing the arcs up to where we are currently in the present story. And if you like that very well, I'm making more solo leveling content. I really want to dive more into solo leveling. Thank you.